This is the How to Fix Input Lag series. My name is Dave, you're watching the Dave Stuff, and today we're going to get as much out of your system as possible. So if you want to get more performance, better system responsiveness for your PC, stay tuned. We're going to cover two apps that will measure and improve your system's responsiveness, therefore less input lag. We're going to turn off some features in Windows that can introduce micro-stuttering, and that's the last thing you want, especially if you're gaming. We'll adjust the system timers. We'll talk about some more advanced utilities, such as the file system utility in PowerShell, and we'll talk about large file pages. Before we proceed, we're going to take a system backup in the event you need to go back to a system restore later. To do so, right-click on the Start menu, and then left-click on Run. Type in Control and then hit OK. Control panel, go to System and Security, go to System, and then go to System Protection. System Restore and Create shouldn't be grayed out, but if they are, what you'll need to do is you'll need to find your C drive or your Windows boot drive, which is indicated in the protection settings. So if you scroll down, you should see where it says your main drive, and it'll say in bracket system. It's also indicated by a little Windows symbol on the hard drive icon. Click on it, go to configure, choose turn on system protection, and for the purposes of this video, we'll just increase it to 5%. Click on OK, and then from there, both system restore and create options are now available. Next, we'll click on the create button. We'll type in a name for the restore point. For the purposes of this video, I'll just type in backup, but you can call it anything you want. Once you've done that, click on create, and after a couple moments, Windows will state it's been created, and then you can click on OK. You can now close the system window. From this point forward, please proceed at your own risk. Thank you. Now we're going to download Latency Monitor. Go to your web browser, search in Chrome Latency Monitor. It should be the first or second link. So it's on resplendence.com. Click on that link. Go to the download section and scroll down to find Latency Mon 6.71 and click on the download option. Once you've downloaded Latency Monitor, run it, install it, and we'll be good to proceed on the next step. Now click on the Run button and run this for about 30 to 60 seconds. Most systems typically have an average of 100 to 200 microseconds. Ideally, the lower the number, the better. So we want to try to get this number as low as possible. For example, on my system, it's running a little bit high because I'm recording from another PC right now, but typically I get anywhere between 15 to 30 microseconds. After the 30 to 60 seconds have passed, you can stop Latency Monitor, take a screenshot, or write down the current numbers, just so you have an idea of where you're starting off at. Once you've done that, you can close Latency Monitor. Next, open your browser. Do a search for Quick CPU. It should be the first or second link. Once you've done that, download the Quick CPU utility, save it, install it, and we're good to proceed on the next step. In the Power Data section of Quick CPU, make sure your system power plan is set to a high-performing power plan. For AMD Ryzen-based systems, it should be set to AMD Ryzen High Performance. For Intel-based systems, it should be set to High Performance or Ultimate Performance, and that should also be set to Active. Next, you want to ensure Core Parking Index, Turbo Boost Index, and Frequency Scaling Index are all set to 100%. That way you're getting the most out of your CPU. If not, make those changes and apply them, then close Quick CPU. Next, go to Start, Settings, go to Display, scroll down to Graphics Settings. Now for Windows 10, 2004, or 19041 or 20H1 users, you'll see a hardware GPU acceleration option and potentially a variable refresh rate option. Make sure they are enabled if those options are available to you. Now note that it is currently available in the nvidia 450.12 driver or later. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. wait until that driver is available. That being said, we can go back and then go to notifications and actions. In notifications and actions, we're going to turn off everything. We'll also do the same thing in Focus Assist. From there, we'll go to storage. We're going to turn off the storage sense. That way Windows isn't deleting files that you may not know about. That puts you more in control of what to delete on your own system. This does take a little bit of CPU cycle. Next, in tablet mode, when I sign in, we will change this to use desktop mode for desktop-based users. For laptop-based users, you can change it to desktop mode if you want, but you may also want to leave it to use the appropriate mode for my hardware. Multitasking, I turn off the settings. In shared experiences, I turn the share across devices off. We'll click back and we'll search for startup apps. This section will list anything that's running on startup. If you know the apps here and you don't use them on startup, turn them off. For anything you don't recognize, I recommend leaving them on. Now we're going to search the privacy settings. So click on it. Shut down the background apps. That way you're saving on CPU resources and putting it more towards your apps or games. Once you've done that, you can close this window. We're going to go into PowerShell. So right click on the start menu and left click on Windows PowerShell admin. Select yes when prompted. We're going to make some changes to the timings in Windows. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to put these settings in the video description. That way you can copy and paste them in. This will improve your timings, especially while you're gaming. Now, if you need to undo them, I will also put in the undo commands to go back to your original settings. Note, you will need to reboot for these settings to take effect. I would also check your motherboard settings to see if you have a setting called High Precision Event Timer, or HEPT. If it's enabled, disable it in your motherboard settings or in your BIOS. If you don't see that option there, it should be disabled already. If you've rebooted your system, go back into PowerShell admin and we're going to proceed on to the next step. For anyone who's running a solid-state drive or an NVMe based drive, whether it's bootable or not, we're going to run the following command line: fs util space behavior space query space disable delete notify. If Windows detected a solid state or NVMe drive, it should be set to 0 for both NTFS and potentially REFS. If it states 1, then Windows may not be detecting your solid-state drive or your NVMe drive properly and is incorrectly detecting it as a hard drive. To address this, you should check with your motherboard manufacturer or search online to get the correct drivers installed for your system. If for whatever reason they are and Windows still says 1, then all we need to do is we need to re-enable it. To do this, type in fs util space behavior space set space disable delete notify space 0 and then hit enter. Once you've done that, NTFS should now read 0 and you should be fine. If you're running Windows 10 Enterprise, Windows 10 Pro for workstations, or Windows Server 2016 or later, you'll need to run this command if you are running a resilient file system or REFS drive. fs util space behavior space set space disable delete notify space REFS space 0 and hit enter. Once you've done that, you should see that REFS is now set to 0, which means Windows has detected the drive as a solid-state drive and with trim enabled. Next, we're going to adjust the MFT zone. According to Microsoft's website, they state the MFT zone is a reserved area that enables the master file table MFT to expand as needed to prevent MFT fragmentation. If the average file size on the volume is 2 kilobytes or less, it can be beneficial to set the MFT zone value to 2. If the average file size on the volume is set to 1 kilobyte or less, it can be beneficial to set the MFT zone value to 4. I've noticed slightly more improvement with MFT zone set to 2. Note in Windows it defaults to 0, and we're just going to make that change. To make the change, type in fsutil space behavior space set space MFT zone space 2 and hit enter. Next, we're going to disable the last access parameter in Windows. What this does, it stops tracking the last time a file has been updated. But honestly, anytime you run something or do anything in Windows, that last access time is being done and checked, which means it can wear on your solid state drive over time. There's also a slight performance gain and perhaps even more with a traditional hard drive. Do note that running the command may impact backup and or remote storage that relies on the feature. Also, Microsoft states the disable last access parameter reduces the impact of logging updates to the last access timestamp on files and directories. Disabling the last access time feature improves the speed of file and directory access. So to run this command, all you need to do is type in fsutil space behavior space set space disable last access space 1 and hit enter. Note it may look a little confusing. All this states is that you're enabling the disable last access option. Next, we'll increase the memory usage in your system. You may ask, why would I do that? Well, if you have 40% of your memory used, that means 60% is available. And if your apps or games aren't using that, then it's wasting memory. You're not even using it. So you might as well take advantage of your memory as much as possible, right? Now for users or people who have less than 16 gigs of RAM, I do not recommend running the command line. I will talk about how to undo the settings if you wish to go back. Before we proceed, just read what Microsoft states. Increasing physical memory does not always increase the amount of paged pool memory available to NTFS. Setting memory usage to 2 raises the limit of page pool memory. This might improve performance if your system is opening and closing many files in the same file set and is not already using large amounts of system memory for other applications or for cache memory. If your computer is already using large amounts of system memory for other applications or for cache memory, increasing the limit of NTFS paged and non-paged pool memory reduces the available pool memory for other processes. This might reduce overall system performance. So what we'll do is we will run the command to increase memory usage. Note, we will need to reboot after all these settings have been implemented. Type in fsutil space behavior space set space memory usage space 2 and hit enter. Once you've done that, all the settings have been applied. Reboot your system for all the settings to take effect. We'll be back once that has been completed. We're going to run Group Policy Editor, but before we go ahead and do that, a lot of you are running Windows 10 Home and you won't have the Group Policy Editor available. So what we're going to do is we're going to go online and there's a way to actually get it. So in Google or in Chrome, type Windows 10 GP Edit and then search for it. It should be the first link to ghacks.net, how to enable the gpedit.msc group policy on Windows 10 Home. All you need to do is you need to scroll down a little bit just to the point where it states here's the script. click on the first link that says Windows 10 Home Group Policy.zip, or you can click on the backup link if the first link doesn't work. Once you've done that, save it, extract the file, and then run it as administrator. Once you've done that, you'll need to reboot your system to get access to the group policy editor. Once you've rebooted, right-click on the Start menu, go to Run, type in gpedit.msc and hit OK or click OK. Go to Windows Settings, double-click on Security Settings, double-click on Local Policies, then open User Rights Assignment, and from there, double-click on Lock Pages in Memory. Click on Add User or Group, click on Advanced, click on Find Now, find your account name, select it. I would also recommend selecting any system, local, or network service, as well as any administrator or user account. Add them all, click OK, click on OK, then click on Apply, then OK. And you can close the local group policy editor. Next, we're going to go online, go to our web browser and search large page util, and then hit enter or search. It should be the first link from Guru 3D, Performance Boost for most games. Click on that. You may want to bookmark this forum for future records as there's a discussion on this utility. You can click on the MediaFire link to download the utility, save it, and once you've done so, extract it, and then you can run it as administrator. Now, some apps, games, services, even some things in Windows can run faster with the large pages on. However, there are some apps out there that simply won't run and will actually crash. You'll know this right away. So to add an app or a game or even a service, I'll use Fortnite as an example. So I'm just going to browse for it on my hard drive, and I have to basically copy the file name. It's a little bit painful in this case here, but Windows only enables this feature based on the name of the program or the app or game. So in my case here, it is Fortnite client-win64-shipping.exe. That needs to be entirely in that little box between the remove and the add option. If you don't have the exe, it's not going to work. I would copy it and paste it in, that way you know it's in there correctly. Click on add, and now it's checked and enabled. Now if you want to disable it, let's say the app doesn't work properly, simply uncheck it and it's no longer enabled. I would test your apps, games, Windows services, if you will, one by one, just to ensure you're not breaking anything. That way, through trial and error, you'll know what works and what doesn't work. Now, if you start messing around and adding Windows options in there, Windows may not completely boot, and if you need to get into the utility again, all you need to do is when Windows boots up and it doesn't run like you won't see your desktop on your screen, all you need to do is you just need to press Control-Alt-Delete, go into Task Manager, go to Run, and then just type in a CMD option and then hit OK. And then from there, all you need to do is go to where you saved the large page utility file, run it, and then uncheck the setting that you changed. That's basically it. Close it, then reboot. You should be fine afterwards. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions on all this. I know this was a lot of information, but Windows, Microsoft, they designed Windows 10 to be compatible with a lot of things. They didn't design it for, certain versions to be for high performing systems and certain versions to be for low performing systems. I'd pay a little bit of money to have a high performing license, if you will, and another license if it was for just a very basic system. That's just me. But that way, if they had that, then you wouldn't need to tinker around with the system as much. Anyway, guys, I hope this makes sense. If you like this video, give me a like. If you want to see more videos like this, and if you want to see this series continue, hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. And again, comment below if you've got any questions, if this has helped you, if you're struggling with an option. I'll do my best to help you out as well as anybody in the community. Share this with your friends and family that know a thing or two about messing around with Windows or making changes in Windows to improve their performance. I'm sure they greatly appreciate it as well. Thank you, everyone. Take care and have a good one.